Hello and welcome to another transfer gossip with LFC Ahmedabad. We have got our, usual suspect Roshan Bhai here, and today we are going to talk about a 19-year-old who is very coveted in the world. Everyone is talking about him, but that's enough about Jude Bellingham. Welcome to the Indie Football Podcast. We have got Roshan Bhai here, and today we are going to talk about everything Liverpool, including Romeo Lavia. रोशन भाई क्या लगता है रोमियो लाविया में आप लोगों के तो इनिशियल्स भी सेम है ना मैं बोलता हूँ कैसा लगता है आपको कि मतलब रोमियो लाविया अच्छी साइनिंग रहेगा इफ ही कम्स टू लिवरपूल
Uh, I mean, he has a lot of potential. Sorry, before we talk about this, to all the LFC Ahmedabad fans, and I mean, from all of the LFC Ahmedabad fans, I want to convey my condolences to Ashutosh, who lost his father recently. And so,
ओह
yeah, on behalf of the whole Liverpool family, we wish him the best and Om Shanti to him and his father. And so hopefully he gets back soon with us, with Liverpool things and normal life. So on that somber note, I wanted to just convey my message.
राइट राइट
But coming back to Lavia, see, the only problem that I have with the valuation is the club is relegated, so I don't know what. How much money they can command. I don't know, like, and he has only had one season, and technically, as he has played only 17 games. So, can you judge anybody in 17 games? They don't know. It could be a very big gamble, but this looks like a proper. It is a very thin line between we really need a midfielder, so kind of a panic buy, but a panic buy where the player fits the profile. So on the spectrum of panic buy to on a spectrum of fits the profile, I'm much in panic buy kind of a thing than fits the profile kind of a player.
fair
I
enough
think I think that he's very young, and for the price specifically, if he was coming cheaper, I would not say कि हाँ ठीक है चलेगा. But since we are having to shell this much money just because we need one,
especially with
seems
how
to
we run
exactly, and he cannot be more expensive than McAllister. So like
I get it
keeping all of those things in consideration, I think I don't know. He's not even English, so I don't know what kind of tax that Southampton is putting on
but
us.
he is homegrown na he is comes under the homegrown quota
Oh, अच्छा, okay. Well, then English tax और क्या ही बोल सकते हो. I feel
fair
like
enough
it.
fair enough
Hmm.
First of all, condolences from the Indie Football Podcast to Ashutosh Bhai. He is someone who is very active on the LFC Ahmedabad group also,
Right.
and of course, our message to him is Ashutosh Bhai, you will never walk alone, and our wishes and prayers are with you. Also, coming back to the topic, Roshan Bhai, even I feel that it is a bit of a gamble, honestly. And जो मुझे लगता है ना, रोशन भाई, I
Hmm.
just feel that एक मिडफील्डर से काम नहीं चलेगा. I know maybe I'm sounding a bit greedy, but the fact is कि
Hmm.
Fabinho and Henderson have gone. और
Hmm.
ठीक है, चलो मैं मानता हूँ हेंडरसन इस सीजन मिलने वाला रोल प्ले करता, बट दैट इज द
Hmm.
थिंग दैट मिलने वाला रोल इज वेरी एसेंशियल इन द टीम.
Essential.
नो
Yeah, exactly.
एग्जैक्टली. एंड और स्पेशली हाउ वी रन, जो हमारे मिडफील्डर्स इंजर हो जाते हैं, ये वो आई एम रियली होपिंग कि कोई ना हो, बट अगेन वी हैव सीन जो भी हमारे 2 सीजन उतने अच्छे नहीं हुए जिसमें हम लोग टॉप 2 में फिनिश नहीं हुए
Hmm.
रिसेंट पास्ट में, उसमें ये दिक्कत है कि इंजरीज जस्ट कर्टेल्ड आवर सीजन, राइट?
Hmm.
एंड I just feel that abhi bodies in midfield are very much required. Like this
Hmm.
is what I think I have like kind of learned with time ki bodies are very important. Or Liverpool ko na, agar if they had spent like something like 35-40 million pounds,
Hmm.
that might have given them the space to go and buy another midfielder for the same price. Someone
Hmm.
like Keferan, Thuram type या Manu Kone type का ना. I think that would be a good signing. अब मुझे नहीं पता कि if they will still buy.
Hmm.
Also, of course, जरूरत एक
They,
center half की भी है.
they might buy because now we are getting the money for Fabinho.
Hmm.
So that is directly going. That should be probably going directly into this deal. So I think वो sell to buy वाला situation is there. I think इसी की वजह से खरीद रहे हैं ना. Like we have the money from that, and so considering Henderson plus Fabinho वाला पैसा can go to Lavia, so that's why we are negotiating. वरना 35 pounds का 35 million pound का reject कर देता है एक relegating team, so I think we would not have seen their faces again, assuming we didn't have
हाँ
the money. So since we have the money, that's why we are still pushing it around. But देखते हैं. Coming back to your point about Henderson and Fabinho, I feel Fabinho ठीक है, yeah, could you have given him one more year, but then वो हो जाता
हाँ
है कि one more year में if you end up losing more momentum than gaining momentum, then वो gamble भी बेकार हो जाता है, and then you
सी
would not
फेबिन्यो
even
इतने में
get.
सेल नहीं होने वाला था फिर से 40
Exactly,
मिलियन
right.
पाउंड में.
Right. So we were getting a good price for him, and considering he really had a poor season, all in all,
राइट.
although with some resurgence in the end. ठीक है, वो चला गया. I don't really mind. I think Henderson went only because Gerrard wanted him to be there, and he's getting paid almost 3 to 4 times more than what he was getting paid at Liverpool, at least 3 times for sure. So he's getting that much money. Also in a league where his stamina can still work out. He still will be the fastest of the midfielders, because EPL is I feel like is much more Premier League now is much more faster, and people of his ability cannot cope up in Premier League. So I think.
आई एग्री. वैसे
But
आपका
अगर
क्या
अगर
व्यू है? हाँ
अगर जेरार्ड नहीं बोला था, then I think the decision was to make him the Milner of the team, where
हाँ
he was
absolutely.
supposed to do all the dirty job, like 60 minutes you play high intensity, and then you bring Henderson for the last 30-20 minutes and get the game finished and saved, or whatever you want to do.
See,
So
if there's
that.
a decent midfielder coming in the रोशन भाई, तो फिर I think it is fine. If we
Hmm.
पर अगर नहीं आते ना, तो I think we will miss another presence in midfield. That's what I feel.
But I think the team is backing on Thiago and Bajcetic to rehab and get in quickly, is what I feel. And considering Curtis Jones had a good Euro, he deserves a chance to be there. So that is why we might end up just with Lavia. अगर वो नहीं आता है तो शायद एक कम लगेगा, but assuming that's a done deal, it's just about making the price is right and getting the initial price right and add-ons के साथ जो भी हम लोग करते हैं. If we sign him, then I think we have a good midfield, because we have 3 who came in and we have 3, which is 2 injured, but still they can always come back. So
Makes sense.
I'm more than happy, and I think one midfielder, and as I think Paul Joyce also tweeted
हाँ.
saying that Klopp wants a central defender. So
Hmm.
I think one midfield, one central defender. Yes, I think it's a good transfer window. I think that covers our bases for now. We'll see for the winter break तक क्या होगा, and then for maybe winter transfer में things happen and there is a player who is
I
available.
won't be surprised if winter transfer में अगर if we get a defender here, तो we'll get another one because Matip is gonna go next season,
Yeah.
ना?
Yeah. No,
हाँ.
I don't think Matip is going to stay for long, especially considering he came free of cost. So he's fairly disposable, and he hasn't done well even in the preseason, both the games.
हाँ.
You can see he's not the Matip of old times. So I think that's
I
why
know. I
I
agree.
think that's why he's saying that he needs a centre back now. मतलब बहुत with a lot of command, he's saying that he really needs one, because
Hmm.
देख लिया 2 गेम में कि मैटिप क्या कर रहा है. So I think
Makes
that's the
sense.
reason.
Makes sense. एक चीज मैं आपसे पूछूंगा, मतलब अभी तो बहुत सोशल मीडिया पे कुछ लोग बहुत गुस्सा कर रहे हैं, कुछ लोग बहुत फनी लगा है कि हेंडरसन गया है, बिकॉज पीपल आर लाइक कि डैरेन फार्ली को शायद आप फॉलो करते होगे यूट्यूब पे. ही इज अ
Hmm.
गाय हु
Yeah.
मेक्स फन ऑफ फुटबॉलर्स एंड ऑल. तो
Hmm.
उसने बहुत ही फन वो निकाला था कि जॉर्डन हेंडरसन की जो स्केच किया था कि आई एम गोना क्या बोला था उसने कि आई एम जस्ट सेलिंग नथिंग बट जस्ट माय इंटेग्रिटी, माय सोल, है ना, एंड माय स्पिरिट, एवरीथिंग. तो आई जस्ट फील दैट some people are really angry deep inside about him leaving the club and how it left, because like clearly he was like वो इंग्लिश टैग्स के साथ ना एक वो इंग्लिश का वो एक टैग भी आता है in which players have to live up to that level in which what the जो community में वो काम कर रहे हैं, like he
Hmm.
did a lot of work for the LGBTQ community. He did a lot of work for human rights and all वहाँ पे लिवरपूल में. And it's like it has all come to shambles. Now, honestly, मतलब I understand. It's like I understand from a fan's point of view, but what I feel is that even Fabinho and players like Firmino should get the same sort of treatment, right? अगर उनके लिए वैसे Fabinho के लिए everyone's like Flacco ये लाइट हाउस वो, Firmino के लिए everyone's like सी सीनियर ये अच्छी बात. But I just feel that why Henderson? So what are your views on it?
uh, so I feel थोड़ा conflict of interest तो है, as you said that when you are representing a community and when you are going to play and earn the money that in people's minds is blood money or even human rights violations and all of that, if you consider at the end of the day, I feel like he's a footballer, he has a job to do and he's fulfilling his duty, which doesn't have to undermine the fact that he cares about these social things also. So मैं I am kind of personally like I don't have to be influenced by people. Personally, I feel एक professional को ये सब सोचना नहीं चाहिए. His job is to feed his family, take care of his family, earn the money, and give them a good life wherever it comes from. And so he is entitled to that, and he's also entitled to the opinion of whatever political and humanitarian views he has. अगर इतना ही बुरा है हेंडरसन तो सऊदी नहीं लेता, Saudi club, if they have all the Saudi money coming in, then they know he supports LGBTQ
Makes sense.
operations and things like that. So they shouldn't have even considered buying him. So when they are able to compromise for the sake of their football, then the compromise should be on the other side also, where they can let Henderson earn more money. And he's not going to earn this much money ever with the kind of fitness, with the age he has. उस एज में लोगों के पैसे कम होते हैं, पैसे ज्यादा नहीं होंगे, and so he has to work for his retirement also. So it's okay. As a human, he's a nice person. उसने कभी किसी के लिए कुछ ऐसा किया नहीं है, कुछ बोला नहीं है. He doesn't necessarily have very क्या बोलते हैं उसको extreme views about anybody, and he keeps to himself. So it's okay. It works for the world cannot be black and white. The world has to be a good mix of gray, sometimes darker shades of gray, sometimes lighter shades of gray. But I think it cannot be viewed and considering तुम हेंडरसन की क्यों ले रहे हो? LGBTQ community of Newcastle, when they were looking for their owners, जब Saudi owners आ रहे थे, they said that they support the Saudi ownership coming in, as spending the money in the community. So if that is right, then Henderson going to Saudi and playing is also right. People cannot be hypocritical in that case. So वैसे तो Saudi owners आना ही नहीं चाहिए थे Newcastle. Then if you are so vehemently behind your cause, then there should not be. And also Premier League is a mixture of a lot of countries, players from a lot of countries. तो ईस्टर्न यूरोपियन कंट्रीज ले लो, थोड़े से बाल्कन स्लाविक कंट्रीज ले लो, जहाँ पे there is still a lot of orthodox beliefs and stuff. So there are players that who come in with like they don't necessarily
Mohamed from Egypt. I don't think
exactly.
बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा है.
हाँ, so let's say, does Mohamed Salah put on a rainbow armband? Will he ever? I don't think so. उसके religious beliefs will not allow him to do so. But that doesn't mean that he cannot play in England or play for England. So things like that होता है. Everybody is entitled to what their opinion is. And जब तुम multicultural, football is multicultural. You will encounter people who support A thing and a B thing, and ultimately we have to live with that. And so yeah, I think हम लोग को थोड़ा सा तो उनके लिए भी सोचना चाहिए कि they can't do both.
They're humans also.
Exactly. And yeah, simple as that, at the end of the day, everybody is in a profession because they want to earn as much money as they can and also have a comfortable life, and which they're entitled to.
इंटरेस्टिंग है रोशन भाई, बहुत ही अच्छा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू लगा. इवन आई एग्री विद यू ऑन दिस कि मतलब इट पीपल आर मेकिंग टू मच आउट ऑफ इट. आई अंडरस्टैंड
Hmm.
the reasons, but at the end of the day he deserves it, like he deserves his chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so वैसे since he was the captain,
Hmm.
Rahul Bhai is asking a question. Rahul Bhai, of course, works for us at the Anti Football Podcast. He is
Nice.
the reason behind a lot of our thumbnails and all.
Oh,
And of course, like बीच में मैं बोलना चाहूँगा शो के कि please subscribe to LFC Ahmedabad also. I'll be putting their links after this stream, yeah, episode after this episode.
hmm.
And of course, like these guys are doing a great work there also. And for every LFC sort of content, you can go to their Instagram page, their Twitter. On their Twitter, they are doing a great job also.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, coming back to it, who is going to be the next captain for Liverpool? मैं अपना बता रहा हूँ आपको कि मुझे पर्सनली लगता है कि ट्रेंट अलेक्जेंडर आर्नल्ड शुड बी. ऐसा मुझे लगता है. आई नो वैन डाइक के बहुत चांसेस है, बट आई फील ट्रेंट अलेक्जेंडर आर्नल्ड डिजर्व्स इट. व्हाट डू यू
So I would say neither Trent nor Van Dijk. Just
रॉबर्टसन?
from the basis of last 2 seasons, I would say Alisson होना चाहिए क्योंकि the
इंटरेस्टिंग.
the most passion that anybody has ever shown, especially in the last season where we were not doing really well, the only person who was ready to like take everybody, make everybody accountable on the field and off the field, even in interviews. He has called out people by names, players saying कि इसके वजह से, मतलब not necessarily in a bad way, but obviously pointing out the fact जो हम सब देख रहे हैं टीवी पे. In some interviews, he has been very critical of how we have played, and I think he supposed to be the captain. But I can understand that English is not his probably the strongest point, and so communication across might not be the best. So वो हो सकता है, but if you think लास्ट ईयर जिस हिसाब से हमारा टीम खेल रहा था और जिस हिसाब से एलिसन ने रेस्पॉन्ड किया, आई वुड से ही डिजर्व्स टू बी द कैप्टन. And if you have ever seen, I feel goalkeepers as captains have always been really influential because they can see the game. The whole game is visible to them. They know exactly what happened in the 90 minutes. And so having a goalkeeper debrief after the game, discuss कौन से position में था, क्या था, किसकी क्या गलती थी, I think will give us a good perspective.
तो
And
लाइक यू आल्सो वांट दैट. जैसे धोनी के लिए होता है कि कोई था जो विकेट के पीछे से गेम बदल लेता था, जो कोई था जो डी के पीछे से गोल बदल लेता था
not
और
just
गेम
because
बदल
of the
लेता
position, but I feel like he really cares about the club, and he really
था.
cares
हाँ,
about
आई एग्री.
the footballing culture, and also about how we are playing every week in and out. And
मेक सेंस,
so,
मेक सेंस.
and the only player who has probably given us consistent games is Allison in terms of performance, because Van Dijk का भी performance ऊपर नीचे जाता है. And so I mean, let's say Van Dijk as a Netherlands captain to Van Dijk as Liverpool captain. Netherlands hasn't been doing that really well. So I don't. He's a commanding presence, yes. Maybe when
आई
before
थिंक ही
the
इज टैलीड ऑफ अ बिट दो, मतलब
yeah,
थोड़ा सा.
and also maybe a pre-injury Virgil van Dijk would have been a really great captain, but post-injury you're giving him captaincy, and he's also thinking about how he's one bad tackle away from another ACL injury. And so I would say either Trent or Allison, but in this case I would just go with Allison purely because from what I've seen last year and how he reacts to things and things like that.
Makes sense, makes sense. So, Alexander Arnold has played in midfield very effectively, even at the back end of last season. Rahul Bhai bhi baat puch rahe. And even also in the preseason, also, Abhi he played in the last match against Leicester.
Uh,
So, do you think that is the place that's going to be there for him? Do you think we have finally found the exact role for him?
Hopefully, if that is the role for him, if that is where he's more effective, then we have to build around him where we give him the defensive cover as well. So instead of having him run up
Do you
and
think
down,
Lavia does that?
I think he can. I think Lavia can be a really, because I would say as a young player, he has a lot of legs and lungs in him that can help Trent be less defensive and more
But
attack.
then रोशन भाई aren't you like concerned कि से कोई अगर हम किसी मैन सिटी को खेल रहे हैं या फिर
Hmm.
यूरोपा लीग में भी किसी बड़ी टीम को खेल रहे हैं राइट
Hmm.
एंड इफ वी हैव आर गोइंग विद द मिडफील्ड ऑफ लाइक मैं अटैकिंग मिडफील्डर्स की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ जो नंबर 10 स्लैश नंबर 8 रोल्स में खेलेंगे but if we have a midfield of say Bechatic and Arnold or say Lavia and Arnold, are you comfortable seeing them or do you think मतलब कुछ और जरूरत है?
So the thing is, well, it has worked. Again, is it a proven system? I don't think so, because the last few games of our season, we did not play a lot of top teams. We played a lot of mid-table teams, and so it might work for them, but has it worked, or will it work for top six? We don't know, and that is a gamble that we have to take in the next season, where we play him the way we played him the last 10 games and see the teams that can understand. Abhi, there like teams like Man City, they do come with a game plan, but they also execute things on the field. Like they see ki, oh, they are pressing us, so let us play above their heads and then have runners who can run and create spaces. So agar
ठीक
if we are coming up against teams, and there other teams are also looking at how Trent and the midfield is going to set up. So we have to be like tactically one step ahead of them. Positionally, this is a very good place for him, but then there has to be like ecosystem around, considering every scenario, good and bad. Like, okay, this is the best case scenario, then we do these kinds of things. If this is the worst case scenario where Trent needs help, then we do A, B, C, D, or the positioning of the midfielders is in a way where he's protected more. So I think we have to figure all of that in the preseason and also in probably the first 5-6 game weeks to figure out kya karna hai, if that is the week that we are going to set up. But yes,
interesting
but it is, in one way you can think thoda one dimensional ho jayega. We have, this is probably not a long term thing also, because agar Trent har match khelega, then you're expecting him to play in that position every time. Then your tactics can't be just Trent in midfield. That cannot be
absolutely
one. Trent in midfield, but plan A is diamond, plan B is triangle, plan C is double pivots. जो भी जितने भी possible combinations है with Trent in midfield, we have to be ready, because if one fails, then we don't have to be waiting for the next 3 games to identify क्या करना है. The plans
I
should
agree
already be there. So
absolutely
so yeah, let's not make this a one-dimensional thing, or hopefully it doesn't become a one-dimensional thing where Trent in midfield is just a thing. Maybe
right
things around it and the pawns and the pieces move around him and make it more effective, and people still guess कि अरे अच्छा, when they come to play us, what will they use against us? No.
ठीक है
There needs to
makes
be a
sense
mystery behind it. मतलब ये थोड़ा अजंता मेंडिस वाला होगा कि हाँ भाई मिडफील्ड में डाल दिया तो बहुत अच्छा खेल रहा है. But you can get easily found out quickly. So
हाँ
let this not
Oh,
be.
Ajanta Mendes, what a player. I remember that Asia Cup. Oh my God,
Yeah.
he was just taking
So
wickets like anything.
yeah. So yeah, let's not
I think
let's
he still holds the record for the highest, for the fastest
fastest
time in
50
which to
wickets.
take 50 wickets in 19
Yeah,
matches. Mein shayad.
yeah, yeah.
He beat Ajit Agarwal's record. Anyway, on that note, thank you, Roshan Bhai, for joining us. I hope
Absolutely.
you keep smiling like this. And we just hope that we can keep bringing in Roshan Bhai again and again to the Indie Football podcast because
For
we
sure.
love having him. We know that you love having him, and of course, like he is an adorable person as he always is. So yeah, for more Liverpool transfer news, all sort of transfer news, we are trying to update our content. We are trying to constantly put out things on the Indie Football podcast. So please subscribe and press the bell icon and whatever YouTubers tell you, just do it here also. And thank you for joining. It's been a pleasure.
Bye guys.